Good evening, everybody. It is almost time for another new comic book day. Wanted to go over a few of the highlights with you. Of course, chief among the highlights this week is none other than Detective Comics number 1000, a second title entering into the 4-digit range for DC, with a whole bunch of different stories from everybody from Bendis to Snyder to Chris Priest to Warren Ellis. It's got everybody in here. Kevin Smith. Definitely, I don't really have to sell that one to you. Everybody will be picking that one up anyways. Speaking of Bendis, Part 3 of the Leviathan Rising storyline in Action Comics is hitting the stands. This one has been really interesting, and as solicits start to come out for future months, we're kind of seeing where this is going to spill over into all sorts of different event stuff for Superman coming up. This seems like a far-reaching storyline that he's really got some plans for. Also this week, we've got Detective Comics number 1000, another title entering into the 4-digit range for DC, featuring, writers from Bendis to Chris Priest to Kevin Smith to Scott Snyder. It's got everybody in here. Again, I don't really have to sell that one, people will be picking it up anyways. We've got Amazing Spider-Man number 18, which features part 2 of the Hunted storyline, which has been red hot so far. Everybody's been checking it out, so, I don't feel like I really have to sell this one too hard. It kind of, sells itself. We also have Detective Comics number 1000 this week, a second title for DC entering the 4-digit range, featuring a just host of great writers and artists, Kevin Smith, Scott Snyder, Chris Priest, Warren Ellis. It's really got everybody. They pull out all the stops. Again, I don't really have to sell that one too hard. Daredevil number 3 is on the stands. Daredevil's not a title that's ever really sold tremendously well for us in the past, but man, Chip Zdarsky's run has been knocking it out of the park, and people have been buying it. People have been liking it. So let's see how long that can keep up. We also have Detective Comics number 1000 this week, a second title for DC entering into the 4-digit range. Featuring, among other things, the much-publicized debut of Arkham Knight into the mainstream DC continuity. Honestly, it's not much. I've already flipped through it, but hey, this is technically the first appearance. The actual story will start in 1001. We've got Marvel Comics Presents number 3, another weirdly hot Marvel title. You guys do remember what Marvel Comics Presents was in the 80s, right? But, people have been enjoying it so far, and who am I to tell people they shouldn't enjoy something? Charles Soule has apparently been doing some really good work on I believe the Wolverine portion of this. So, more power to him. I love it when Marvel actually does put out cool stuff. We've also got The Joke That Keeps On Giving, Detective Comics number 1000, a second title for DC entering into the 4-digit range. I'm not sure how much longer I can keep getting away with this, but let's find out. We also have Sabrina the Teenage Witch number 1. This is the start of a new series for the heroine of the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Netflix series. This is not technically Chilling Adventures, but frankly it looks a lot like the Chilling Adventures issues, and it's got a similar visual style and everything, and it's Kelly Thompson, who, if you watch these videos often, you know how I feel about her. And it's always great to see her doing something that's not for Marvel, frankly. So definitely highly recommend giving this one a try if you're a fan of the Netflix series, or if you're an old school fan of the Melissa Joan Hart series, or if you just really like good comics. And last, but certainly not least, we have Detective Comics number 1000. Now, despite all the different covers that I've pulled out for Detective 1000 this week, we are limiting you to just 2 copies per person off of the stand. We know there's a whole lot of covers. There's covers I didn't even show in this video. Detective 1000's a big deal, but in fairness, you had several months in advance of now to let us know which covers you wanted. We were mostly flying blind at this point. Now, we do have a form out. That one's taped to the rack, so I won't pull it off in the video. But we've got a form for reordering any other covers that you might want. As of right now, they're all still available from DC, because DC printed plenty. But of course, that could change at any time, so you'll want to be sure and get those orders in as soon as possible if you're wanting 4 or 5 or even all 12 or 13 of them, however many there are. That's all the major highlights.